We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second stream for Farley's Far East. I'm your boy, Lila Farley. I'm very happy to see you guys, but I'm also scared that maybe my mic's not high enough. Let's just put it up there a little higher, get a little better sound quality here. I have a lot to talk to you guys about in today's show. That's what we're going to call it. These streams, it's going to be a show because I'm preparing ahead of time. And I've got a few segments that I prepared ahead of time, a few videos, a few pictures, and even a few memes. That's right. The difference between Farley's Far East and some of the other YouTube channels that will educate you on what's going on in China, what I want to emphasize is that I'm really going to try and do it from a linguistic, societal, and cultural perspective. And in order to do that, then I'm going to need to be able to show you guys things like memes. Now, before we get into memes, pictures, we must start with a video. The video is exactly what I described in today's stream's title, which is Chinese college students actually made me question whether or not I was in reality or whether or not my girl put in way too much acid in my coffee this morning. Because when I saw this video, I seriously almost had an acid flashback. It was like, how is this possible? How is this possible? Which is actually astounding. If you watch what's going on in China and the degradation of the Chinese society under Xi Jinping's rule, it's rare that for someone like me that you have this moment where you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? What am I looking at? Now, before I get into this video, I do want to add something to what I said during my last stream on Farley's Far East. The last stream, I got to be honest with you guys, I was a little nervous. And the reason I was a little nervous is I sometimes am uncomfortable with telling people how good I am at something. Okay, I'm uncomfortable. It might be because I hang out with a lot of Chinese people, and Chinese people, whether or not they're pretending or whether or not it's real, they very much prize modesty. And if you come out and you're like, yeah, I think I'm one of the top 5 Americans that speak non-Chinese, Chinese-speaking Americans on the planet, I don't want to come across as an arrogant douche, okay? I understand that I already give people the impression that I am really good at beer pong and that I am an arrogant douche from like what? The Cape Cod. But, you know, first of all, I'm not. People that have followed my channel, Little Farley's channel, for a long time know that I grew up in the American South. But I don't want to come across as a douche. At the same time, I know that your guys' time is valuable. So if you're watching my streams, my videos, and you're placing any sliver of importance on my opinion for what's happening in China, then I need you to know that, yes, I am easily top 5 non-Chinese, Chinese-speaking Americans on this freaking planet, okay? I know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to give you guys an angle that I don't think you will get anywhere else. I don't think you will get anywhere else. Now, some of you might be wondering, well, who is better than Lila at speaking Chinese? Non-Chinese Americans who's better at speaking Chinese? And there is 2 guys. No, there's definitely one guy who is an American actor named Cao Cao. And he speaks not only Chinese really well, but he speaks with the greatest Beijing accent I think I've ever heard come out of a foreigner's mouth. And then there's another guy named Masure who looks incredibly similar to me. And I often get confused. People often confuse Masure with me. They say, hey, you're that guy that I see on YouTube. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I studied Chinese for 16 years. I've worked so hard to develop my YouTube channel. Finally, I'm going to get recognized. This Chinese Uber driver's finally going to know who I am. And then he goes, you're Masure. Oh, you're the guy that teaches English. And I'm like, nope. And before we get into today's main topic, I just got to tell you guys a little story about why I think this is funny. Yesterday, my wife was trying to buy a car. And we are test driving this Chinese couple's car. We're going to buy a used car from this Chinese couple. They're very nice, very sweet. They came over and we are test driving it. And the lady in the back of the seat, in the back of her own car, as I'm test driving the car, she's like, wow, your Chinese is really good. How did it get this good? I was like, I studied in China, lived there for a really long time. And then her husband goes, yeah, I mean, you kind of remind me of this guy that I follow on Twitter, Lulu Falali. He first of all, he didn't call me Lulu Fali. He said Lulu Falali, which means Lula Ferrari. Lula Ferrari. And that's not the first time someone's thought that my name was Lula Ferrari. He goes, you remind me of this guy I follow on Twitter, Lula Ferrari. I was silent for a second and I go, yeah, that's me. And these couple in the back of the car, we're test driving their car. They're just like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Are you fucking serious? Are you joking? It's really, really funny, special moment that I can't help but laugh. Even though they got my name wrong, I can't help but laugh. And with that, let's get into the meat of today's show. I just demoted you, Paul. You said no worries. Jerry is not even like top 5,000. Clone, I saw that shirt. Yeah, I gotta say before we get into the meat, I'm sorry to do this again. I switched shirts. Okay, I took a photo for today's show. I took a photo for the thumbnail wearing Google Uyghur's shirt, but then your boy had to go to the gym and lift heavy things arbitrarily in roughly the same spot for about an hour. So I had to shower and change and stuff. So I'm sorry if I let any of you down. All right, let's get into it. So today, the first thing I really want to talk about is this video that I saw on Twitter, also known as X. Ugh, what a stupid name. God, what a stupid name. X. Anyway, on X, there's a great Bojul. God, my mind is in Chinese. There's a great account that you should follow. His name is Why No Toja Le, Li Lao Shi, Teacher Li. And he aggregates a lot of videos, mostly videos, but also some pictures of just ridiculous stuff that's happening in China while it's happening before it gets deleted on the Chinese internet. A lot of Chinese netizens will send either pictures that they took directly, or videos that they recorded directly, or stuff that they saw on Weibo before it got censored. They'll send it to Li Lao Shi, to Teacher Li. And he has done an incredible job over the last basically year and a half, 2 years of exposing the reality of what's happening in China. And the reality of what's happening in China is, to use 2 words in Chinese to describe, is 疯了, 疯了, 疯了. If you study Chinese, or if you don't study Chinese, but you have like a Chinese friends or whatever, and you kind of want to impress them, you should learn this phrase, 疯了. It just means you have lost your mind. You've gone crazy. And that's all that you can surmise from looking at Teacher Li's Twitter account. You can also surmise some other things, but we'll get there in a second. So anyway, I'm showing you guys this man's account. And here we go. So this is Twitter's translation. I'm not really sure how they did with it. But anyway, there was a university in Yunnan, which is central southern China. If you guys have ever been to China or plan to go to China, Yunnan is actually the shit. I highly recommend going there. Dali is beautiful, one of the oldest cities like in the world, I believe. And then Lijiang is like the Chinese capital for one-night stands. I don't know why. I don't know why this beautiful historical city in China randomly just became the city for one-night stands. It doesn't make sense to me, but if you want to go there and you want to enjoy one-night stands, you can go to Lijiang. I would definitely say, if you're a man, suit up. If you're a man, suit up for sure. If you're a woman, make the guy suit up, right? Or use one of those vagina condoms. Is that still a thing? It's just like, I don't know. Never used one. Anyway, this happened in Yunnan at Chuxiong Normal University. Not Chuxiong Normal University. Normal. This actually usually means that it's a university where the teaching majors are very strong, a lot more of the strong in the region, strong in the province, whatever. Normal university, that's usually what it means. Now, other than teaching related majors, they have other majors as well. However, their main focus is on teaching, is on education related majors, which is relevant because during this military training exercise, you see a group of college students acting as if they are migrant workers, okay, workers from the countryside or from surrounding rural areas, holding up signs demanding that their wages, their unpaid wages, be paid back, right? Sounds pretty reasonable, right? You might be thinking, hey, this is actually pretty reasonable, especially for a country that markets itself as communism or socialist or whatever. It's Chinese socialism with Chinese characteristics, Xi Jinping's new era thought, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that line, you might think, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, this is kind of cool. They're educating these students on the fact that a lot of these migrant workers who are already in really difficult positions because of China's hukou system, which is the basically like you have to get it's like a registration system. So if you're from a different city and you try and go to Beijing, it's really hard to go there. It's hard to go to schools there. Your kids can't go to the schools there. Anyway, there's a lot of videos about the hukou system if you ever want to look it up. But these migrant workers who already have so many difficulties in front of them because of things like the hukou system, now the labor that they have spent their time doing is not getting paid. They're not getting paid for it. Okay. Their wages have been, they haven't received their wages for sometimes months. So you're like, okay, this university in Yunnan has a lot of students practicing or putting on some type of performance, and hopefully they're emphasizing empathy, right? So actually, it shouldn't be empathy. It should be they're empathizing sympathy for these migrant workers, right? I mean, you are a communist country. The plight of the working class should be your main focus. Nope. This is a military exercise, which it's so funny to say the word military exercise here or military drills, because if you've ever seen these military practice drills that happen at all universities in China, especially to freshman students, but sometimes even sophomores, juniors, or seniors. Sorry, if you're not American, and it's like university. So like your first year, second year, usually it's just the first year students have to do these military drills. In fact, recently, high school students and even middle school students have to do these military drills. And they're basically the equivalent of like a 5th grade PE class, like a 5th grade physical education class in terms of like their physical demand on the students. It's absurd and ridiculous to see these military drills because you're just looking at basically a PE class with a group of students that don't understand how to actually like the mental connection between their brain and their physical body, their limbs move so poorly and it's so awkward that you're like, you're going to call this a military drill? But they do. And it's required for all students across China. Now, normal university in Yunnan, you got a military drill where you have some students dressed up as regular people with signs that say, pay me back my wages. Pay me back my wages, or the debts must be paid. I guess that's the better translation. And then they're chanting, pay up, basically pay up. And then another group of college students play the role of stability maintenance armed police. What the F does that mean? Stability maintenance, 维稳. Okay, that's the Chinese right here. 维稳 means to maintain stability. And it is a word that you see a lot in China, especially with Xi Jinping feeling like at least he's losing grip on the people. The amount of money that they spend on 维稳, on maintaining stability, is far surpasses what they spend on their military. Okay, you guys can look that up if you want, but it's a fucking fact. So you have another group of college students are playing the role of armed police that are there to maintain stability. How do you do that? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so first of all, the guy that's recording is laughing because it's so ridiculous. Second of all, the people that want their wages paid back, you can see that a lot of them have like black like bags over their head. So I guess they're like robbers, or they fear their identity being exposed. It's unclear. Here's what I think is funny. The YouTube algorithm, if it's accurate enough, it will get to this part in the video and be like, wait, do I need to demonetize this channel? Which actually, I can't even monetize this channel yet, so they can't really demonetize me, I guess. But it's like, do I need to demonetize this stream? It looks like there might be violence between protesters and police officers in this video. But if the YouTube algorithm is actually accurate at all, it gets to this part and it's like, oh wait, this is a complete joke. Oh yeah. Oh, get away. Oh gosh. Go in the models. All right, I got to be clear about something here. I don't want to sound too much like I'm like shitting on Chinese people for their horrible like physical education, because it's not the Chinese people's fault, right? It's the Communist Party and the education system that they have, and its lack of value in physical education. Or it's like its lack of investment in physical education. Now, that has a lot of reasons. When you have so many people, the competition to try and get better schools is so intense that a lot of schools are like, yo, we cannot afford to have a 40-minute physical education class every day. Instead, we need that time to learn, I don't know, math, algebra, English. Actually, right now, they're not placing as much importance on English classes. But the fact of the matter is, these students, which are, 18-year-olds, the fact that they have the physical body, the physique of, I don't know, a 12-year-old, your average, like, American 12-year-old, average American 13-year-old, 14, average American 14-year-old is not their fault. However, it's also just like mind-blowing when you're there and you witness this, because your boy went to university, not for undergrad, in China. Now, I've been to a few universities, but one of them, the Central Academy of Drama, because it is so rigorous with its physical training for the actors, they're like, 相对来说, relatively speaking, they're in much better physical shape than your average Chinese student. That's not what's shocking. When I saw these military drills at the Central Academy of Drama, what shocked me was the instructors. Same thing, had the physique of like a 15-year-old average American high school student. Like, seriously, if that, right? No muscle. It looked like their body had never seen a gym. And here they are in their military uniforms trying to guide other people that really just don't have a good relationship with their physical body at all, trying to make them feel like, in the case of China actually trying to militarize Taiwan, China might actually do well. Like our military is actually intimidating, and they have a physical presence that's worth respecting. And when you're there as an American, that, by the way, I wrestled for 4 years in high school. I know a lot of wrestlers that went on to do D1 wrestling. They're the toughest human beings I've ever seen in my life. Okay, the D1 wrestlers that I know, probably one of them could handle half of that crowd. All right, I'm getting off topic here. It just drives me crazy that, like, sometimes in Western media, you see the Chinese military portrayed as super intimidating and super scary, but then you see stuff like this or the military drills, and you're like, oh, actually, that's all a complete lie. Yeah, well, Lila, they're actually talking about China's Navy. Okay. China's Navy is not nearly as intimidating as most popular media would like to portray it as. All right, let's watch the rest of this video. Are you guys ready a little bit for some more BDSM? Let's finish this video. I like the purple tear gas. Tear gas. I just love that the people, these students that are acting as if like they're owed wages, as if you are owed wages. And this is how you're going to act. Think about yourself right now. If this was you, if you were owed wages for months, do you think you're just going to be like, dude, if I'm owed wages for months, I'm going in hard. Okay, now this is more, I'm speaking about the acting talent here of these students. But anyway. Now here's the key. Here's the climax. Here's the climax. Okay, one thing real quick I got to talk about. Bruce Lee wasn't that big of a guy. Yeah, but Bruce Lee had muscle, dude. Bruce Lee, you don't have to be big. Bruce Lee had muscle, though. Bruce Lee was very familiar. His body was very familiar with like any type of physical exercise or physical movement. All right, so the last part of this video is actually quite depressing, because what they've done here is actually what Chinese police do, which is they will cut off the protest, like parts of the protest. They'll isolate it and circle around parts of the protest, arrest some of the protesters so that the other protesters run away in fear or stop. And they did that during the 白纸运动, 英文 is, I think it was the A4 revolution in English, when they all hold up like the white paper during during the height of zero COVID. That's what the Chinese armed police did to break up protests. They're very good at it. Okay, they're very good at dividing protesters. And that's what you're seeing right here. So instead of the military exercises being focused on preparing students for the case of a militarized conflict with a foreign entity like Taiwan, America, Japan, Australia, India, now the Communist Party got so little shame that they're willing and encouraging this demonstration where the enemy is not a foreign entity, it's actually your own people. It's actually the citizens that have the nerve to demand the wages that they have worked for already, to demand their unpaid wages. Can you believe that? What are they thinking? How dare they? How dare they? How dare they? Right? Oh, wait, is this a communist country? Are we supposed to protect the worker in a communist country? No. Dude, I have a friend and his brother loves communism. Loves it. And I want to scream. I went to a wedding. I went to his wedding, right? And his brother was there. And he was like giving me these looks because he knows what your boy does. And I couldn't help but feel so irritated, because I do everything that I do. I tell you guys about what's happening in China. I make political satire. I study Chinese to this day because I have a sense of empathy for the struggle of your common Chinese man or woman, whatever, or gender non-binary. Okay, that's why I do all of it. For someone to be a pro-communist or a communist sympathizer and to think that the Chinese government and the way that they've structured the economy and society in China, the incentive systems that drive the economy, to think that has anything to do with even like an idealized with communism, even if you have like the most rosy tinted glasses on, and you just think, yeah, communism is all about the worker, it's all about equality of outcome, all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. How can you look at a video like this and think that this country has anything to do with communism? Anything to do with communism? Do you guys know that in China, when you have a vacation, like right now, okay, China right now is Huangjingzhou Golden Week. Golden Week, it's the second longest vacation in China. Government workers, they get a week off. Public servants, they get a week off. What about your regular Chinese worker? Doesn't work for the government. Just your common Chinese man. Oh yeah, he gets a week off. But you know what? In the future, he has to go back to work on the weekends so that he can repay the missed labor that he did not do during his vacation. So you don't actually get a vacation. The common worker doesn't actually get a vacation. The laborer, okay, the proletariat in common China, in communist China, doesn't actually get his vacation. He just gets lended the time to relax and try and enjoy a vacation, knowing that over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, he's not going to have a weekend. He's not going to have a weekend because you already had your vacation, buddy. You got to repay us. Otherwise, how is the bourgeois, is that how you pronounce it? How is the class that exploits you going to get their money? If you're taking vacation 1 week out of the year, think about the poor government officials that are going to lose out on that revenue. My heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. And you know what else? I mean, it's okay, though, because when those guys don't have enough money to pay back, when those guys don't have enough money to send their mistress abroad to LA to birth their son, they don't pay you your wages. They don't give the workers their wages. They stop giving you your wages. And instead of fostering a sense of empathy for this struggle, as you think would happen in a communist country, you get this. You get teachers, educators, learning how to suppress the working class. Learning how to suppress the working class. So I ask you guys, is that not one of the most ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life? In your life. In your life. God, unbelievable. All right, that's going to be the meat for this stream. Let's move on to the next part of this stream, which is going to be, let me just first bring my little outline out. Oh yeah, by the way, I do need to mention this. For these military type drills or whatever, this is not the first time, okay? This actually happened a few years back in Shenzhen, okay, the southern city that borders Hong Kong. Shenzhen had thousands of actual armed police do a very similar drill, okay, where they prepared how to maintain stability, i.e. how to crush workers looking for unpaid wages. Okay, it was the same thing, except they weren't training educators, they were training armed police. 疯了，疯了。疯了，玻璃疯了。Yo, what's up, Robert? 疯了. That's all you can say, dude, is it's crazy. It's crazy. That's all you can say. What else can you say? Should we watch it one more time? Let's watch it one more time. One more time for the boys. By the way, those shields are definitely made of like very flimsy plastic. Those are definitely not real rioting shields. If they are, I would be really surprised because they are lifting those things way too easily. Dude, I love this guy, yo. This guy is in character. This guy right here on the left is in character. Look, he's got the bar and he's like, yo, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to kick some ass. Look, he's the leader, too. He's the leader. Dude, this guy right here, this guy on the left, the guy that is the most in character. Here's what I think is so funny. He's actually excited to charge because for the first time in this young man's life, he actually feels a little bit of adrenaline. His brain and his body are actually connecting with each other. He's actually able to like express his emotions physically, even though he knows he's acting. But for a second, he gets lost. He gets lost in character for a second. Okay. And he charges. He leads the charge. Now, what happens at the end, though? Yo, look at that kick, dude. Look at this kick, bro. Oh, look at the kick, dude. Look at this kick, you guys. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Oh, God. Can you imagine, Dustin, if any of these guys, if they actually like got too into character, like went full Christian Bale and actually started fighting these riot police? And what if they actually started kicking their ass and stuff? Yes. Yes, Katzman is right. It's the first time this man has testosterone going through his blood. It's the first time that he feels a little bit like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to kick their ass. Let's go. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's go to the next thing for today's stream. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys is, I guess actually before we get away from this meat topic here, I should answer a question that many of you might be thinking, which, how the fuck does this happen? How does this happen? Okay, I'm guessing because obviously you and I both know the Chinese government and everything they do is so opaque. It's not transparent at all, so it's really hard to know exactly how the F this came to be. However, my guess would be that like the military official that's in charge of trying to organize military training for college students in the Yunnan province, I bet he is, first of all, he's trying to impress people above him. Okay, he's trying to impress the man above him. That's all the Chinese political system. It's all about the zhengji, your political grade. I have to try and impress the guy above me. Now, if I'm trying to impress the person above me, how do I do that? Well, I have to think about what he's worried about. I have to think about what pisses him off, what keeps him up at night. Well, that definitely is all of these workers that are protesting lately for their unpaid wages. And the reason I wanted to go in detail about why Toja Lu, Teacher Lee, his Twitter, the guy we were looking at before, is because there are protest videos coming out of China, all over China, every single day. Yo, the instability in China right now is crazy. And for any of you that have been paying attention in China, I'm sure you know the reason why. Because the real estate bubble really does look like it's about to pop. It really does look like we're going to get fucking 2008 times 1,000. That we're going to get 2008 times 1,000. I just thought of, it's like, it looks like we're going to get, it's going to be like 9/11 times 1,000. It's like, oh my God, you mean 9,110 or something like that. South Park has a really good joke when people always used to say, it's going to be like 9/11 times 1,000. And South Park is like, you mean like 99,000? I forget what it was, but it's really funny. This is true though. Okay, the amount of debt and stuff that we're dealing with China's real estate bubble is like 2008's financial crisis times 1,000. Okay, it's going to be insane. And all I can tell you guys is the government is very nervous. You know why? Because they don't look at this like an economic issue. They don't see China's real estate bubble as an economic issue. It's a political issue. This is a bubble that when it pops could take my political stability, my throne away from me. Right? Mr. Xi. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I hate to disappoint, but none of these ridiculous things that's happening in Xi they are new. They are new. You could say that things similar to it were happening before during Hu Jintao or Jiang Zemin's era, but it's not about whether it's happening, dude. It's about the frequency. It's about how frequent is it happening. And the frequency is one yeah. It's like the frequency is completely different. It's way more frequent, and the dictation and the wording is way more extreme. Positive side here, to be fair though, before this video got censored off of Weibo, got deleted off of Weibo, a lot of Chinese netizens were pissed. A lot of Chinese netizens were really upset with it. So there is probably a glimmer of hope here. All right, we're going to go to the next segment, which for now I'm calling Pick of the Week. Ugh, I should have a better name for it. Pick of the Week, which I guess refers to Picture of the Week. Let's bring it up here. All right, here we go. Here we have a store in China that is okay, 性用品 is sex toys or sex thing, anything that you can use sexually, whether it be a toy. Yeah, I guess sex toys. Let's just say sex toys, even though it's the translation of saying it's toys is not that great. But anyway, it's a sex shop where you can, I guess, find whatever you want. A whip, I don't know, handcuffs. No, probably not handcuffs. Probably not even a whip either. In China, in modern day China, you have to apply for a cooking knife at times. If you're a chef and you want to apply for a cooking knife, you want a cooking knife, you have to apply for it. So in a Chinese sex shop, what would you find? Honestly, I'm not sure. If anybody's watching this that's Chinese, that's in China, you want to do me a favor and try and go to one of these sex shops, because I'm not familiar with it. Anyway, one thing I do know that you probably won't find is Mr. Xi Jinping's book, How to Govern China. But that's exactly what you see right there. Right above what looks like a dildo. Or is that boob? I think that's boob enhancement. Is that boob enhancement? I think that's boob enhancement down there. Furu. Wait a second. Is that what that said? Is that furu? Hey, China. Is that furu? Oh, what? No. I can't see the Chinese there. It's not, there's got to be another Chinese person here that can help me. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't. Oh, my vision is terrible. Oh, Yin Luan. Wait. All right, it's time to whip out. That's so funny that I started this stream boasting my English skills or my Chinese skills, and here I am trying to figure out. Well, I'm not familiar with a lot of sexual discourse in Chinese, okay? When I lived in China, I was not sleeping with a lot of Chinese girls. I was sleeping with a lot of European girls, okay? European girls are a lot bigger fans of my appearance. Chinese girls, they want more of like the Norwegian, Northern European kind of Nazi blonde hair, blue eyes type of guy. That's really what they're much more into. It's okay. I'm not upset about it at all. It's not upset about it at all. Yeah, there you go. Yin Luan. Okay, it just means promiscuous. Yin Luan. Okay, so right there, above promiscuity, is our boy Xi Jinping's book, How to Govern China. So my question to you guys is, how the fuck is this book there? This is a little quiz. This is a quiz for chat. Let's hear it, guys. Why do you think... Oh, Yin Luan, thank you, Jay. My boy is helping me because it's traditional characters. That's why I didn't understand it, because it's traditional characters. And your boy was raised by the Confucius Institute, i.e., I know simplified characters. Why is there a Chinese? Yin Luan means promiscuous. It's not Yin Ru. I was thinking maybe it was Yin Ru, which would have been much funnier. But why do they have Katzman says, a free book with a butt plug. You will find Chairman Xi's picture. It helps with CCP member orgasm. You know what? I have the book. Let's check out the pictures. All right, I got the pictures here. First of all, here's the English book. Here's the English book. Let's see if I can get it right to the camera. Oh, man. Does that not get you guys hot and heavy? Does that not get you going? I mean, can you notice all four of Xi Jinping's chins as he leads these migrant people into jobs that they're not going to get paid for? If that doesn't get you hot and heavy, you better check your pulse, buddy. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Xi Jinping Gets Sexual and Hot. No, I need a better name for that. Xi Jinping's book, brought to you by Astroglad, brought to you by Lei Feng Lube, right? Just as Lei Feng sought to alleviate the suffering of Chinese people, of the proletariat, Lei Feng's Lube will alleviate the suffering of anal sex. Yo, I'm going to tell you guys my answer. How is Xi Jinping's book in a sex shop, and is it right there? Lila, stop it. We'll get age restricted. I can't even get age restricted because I actually don't even have, I'm not even monetized. So no matter what, it's not going to, it's my, YouTube doesn't push things that it can't make money off of. But anyway, how is this book there? It's because I would guess that this guy doesn't want Chengguan, the local city government officials that will close you down for whatever reason they might feel that day, whether it be that they don't like your shop or whether it be they're getting a divorce or their wife cheated on them or something. If they're in a bad book, if they're in a bad mood, they might be coming for you. However, if you have Xi Jinping's face in there, and that's the first thing you see is Xi Jinping's book, you're like, yo, what's the issue? Do you have a problem with Xi Jinping? Reported. I'm reporting you. Okay, I'm recording all this. I'm putting it online. You have a problem with Xi Jinping. It's the same strategy that a few a few country folk, I guess you could say, used when the Chinese government threatened to tear down their home. They put Xi Jinping's face all over their house. And you know what? It worked. At least it worked for a while. The people, they didn't tear it down. I don't have that picture, but you can imagine it. It worked pretty well. So that's my guess. Okay, that's my guess. That's my guess. Have I got all three? No, I do. Oh, it was a joke. Oh, Dustin, you scared me. How many times have I used this book? A lot. I've ripped this book up. I've used it. I have like notes in it and stuff, man. All right. So that's the pick of the week. Dude, I'm so good with making names for segments. I need a better one. Pick of the week is over. Let's go to meme of the week before we get out of here. Meme of the week. Let me go to this real quick. Okay, saved. Sorry, I'm going to my Reddit real quick because it's on Reddit. Here it is. All right, let's check this out. Showcase of the week. Sounds nice. Oh, yes, that's her face. I've seen that. All right, so this is one we got to talk about here. Oh, you guys can't really see it that well. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I'll show it a picture of the Xi Jinping book. Maybe it'll get real big, right? There we go. That's a little bigger. Daddy. Come on, Daddy. Oh, all right. Anyway, it's Baidu Fanyi, which is Baidu, China's Google. You could say it's China's Google, but to say that Baidu is anything like Google is like to say that having sex, unprotected sex as a man is the exact same thing as wearing 2 condoms. It's like, no, there's a humongous difference. Okay, Baidu is garbage. Anyway, Baidu Translate is usually pretty decent, though. It can actually it can compete with Google Translate. Anyway, this is a clip of a screenshot that a user of Real China IRL, which, if you guys know Chinese, that would be the subreddit that I suggest to you. China IRL has some good stuff for sure, but China IRL has the most ridiculous rule in the world. Whereas if you are active or even subscribe to any other Chinese speaking subreddits, you get banned from China IRL. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It actually seems a lot like the Communist Party. Anyway, on Real China IRL, someone posted this, and it's really funny because you see on the bottom here the examples for, I think it's my duty. Well, anyway, just what the truth. Then down here you have the bilingual example. Right? Bilingual example for you. The English says, so I think it's just my duty to be able to be out here as well. But down below, it says, 而且我认为走出家门来到这里抗议是我的责任, which means by the way, also, furthermore, I consider that leaving my home and coming here to protest is my duty. Which, if you guys don't know where that came from, allow me to show you a little video that might depress you. A Chinese man on his way to the Tiananmen Square protest. Don't know if you guys ever heard about those. Tiananmen Square protest 1989. He was filmed. This is him. Okay. And he's on his way.
Going to march. Tiananmen Square. Why? I think it's my duty.
Why it's my duty. Okay. This is a very popular meme in Chinese, especially amongst the rebellion as we participate in it. Is this lovely looking man who's literally just got the glow of exactly the kind of guy you would want to be a part of your country. Just someone that feels like going and protesting for the freedom of speech and freedom to get your wages on time and not to have an authoritarian government take advantage of you. You see the charm and the light in this guy's smile right here. And the little bit of English, with the limited English that he had, he was able to say something that carried so much weight, which was, it's my duty. It's my duty to protest for my country. It is my duty to show up. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it pumps me up a lot. There's a really good there's a really good documentary on Amazon Prime called The Exiles, I believe. And it's about Tiananmen Square, specifically about some of the leaders, what happened after they were, after they ran away from China and their life in political exile, including Wu Kaixi, who I interviewed on my main channel. Some of those videos are also in English, by the way. And the ones that are not in English, I added English subtitles. So if you guys are interested, feel free to Google Wu Kaixi, or even just put in his name, Wu Kaixi, on YouTube, and my videos will most likely pop up in the top 3. Anyway, he's the center focus of a documentary called The Exiles, which is about Tiananmen Square, and it's really great. And when you look at it, you just think to yourself, God, they were so close. They were so close. And it's like you had all these like great, the youth and everybody was really uniting, and you had vendors not even charging students for food and water. And it was just like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. And then obviously we know what happened. But I think it's funny to look at this Reddit Baidu 翻译, because first of all, I'm assuming that their Baidu translation is getting its example from some, like, it's just like an AI that's looking for some type of like relevant example with this phrase. And they didn't even realize that they put a phrase in there that is attached to literally the most sensitive event in Chinese history. That's attached to a meme that is attached to the most sensitive moment in Chinese history, right? But this is all a little depressing, isn't it? It's a little sad. Where are the jokes? This is Lila Farley we're talking about here. Where are the jokes? Where is the laughter? Take a look at the bottom of this page. Oh, wait, I'm in the way. Do you guys see the bottom there? Here, I'll get myself out. You see the bottom left? See the bottom left? It says Baidu 器官养了, which it's saying this, it's making a joke that Baidu is like a person or whatever, or you could say the people in charge of Baidu or whatever, but it basically personifying Baidu. And they're saying, does Baidu not want their organs? Is Baidu feeling like getting rid of their organs? Yes, this is the humor that I like. Okay, that's dark humor. And that's why I like Real China IRL. And that has to do with the very well-known organ black market trade harvesting that goes on in China, which at this point I think is so well known that I don't even think YouTube would demonetize me if they could for mentioning that. So that's what I love about humor. I like to take the darkest parts of humanity and try and turn them into something that we can just laugh at it and just be like, what else can you do? Because sometimes, as Nietzsche, I don't know how to say his fucking name, Nietzsche said, when you stare into the abyss, okay, it's like, be careful, because the abyss stares deep into you. He who fights monsters must be careful lest he become one himself. And when you're out here all day like me, looking at these ridiculous videos of what's happening in China, and you're just thinking to yourself, sometimes it can consume you, because you can just feel like there is no hope in this world, like we're absolutely screwed, and the Communist Party is going to bring us down. Sometimes you got to limit yourself, and sometimes you just got to allow yourself to laugh. And that's why I like China IRL. That's why I like that subreddit. That's why I like Chonglang as well, even though they've been just crushed completely by Reddit's moderators. And that's what meme of the week is really about. Yeah, 尼采凝视着深渊，深渊，深渊也正凝视着你. Right? I could say it in Chinese if you want. I can quote Nietzsche in Chinese if you want, bro. All right, guys, I'm Lila Farley. That's it for today's show. Please be sure to subscribe, pass this along to your friends. And I really like Sunday for streams. So if people like Sunday, then we can do a weekly stream on Sunday. We can try our best to do a weekly stream on Sunday. Austin, you just missed it. Guys, that's my cousin, Austin Farley. You missed it. And yeah, that's going to be it for this stream. I had a really good time. Thanks, guys, so much for coming. I'm going to probably smoke a spliff and then go eat some of the best dumplings I've ever had in my life. God, if you guys have not had Chinese food in Los Angeles, specifically the Inland Empire, like east of the main city of Los Angeles, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because LA has the best Chinese food on the planet. And I think it's better than even China, because you have higher ingredient standards and everything. It's just so good. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. But because it is Sunday, I'm probably going to smoke a fat spliff before I go. All right, guys, I'm Lila Farley. See you guys next time. Peace.